Fed is making a mistake.
How's it going, everyone? This is Daniel, and in this video we are going to be talking about Tesla stock. We're going to go over and look at exactly why Tesla stock is aggressively selling off to the downside. We're going to talk about exactly what to expect for Tesla for the upcoming days, and we're also going to go over and look at Cathie Wood. She came out recently going over exactly why the Fed was wrong increasing interest rates by 50 basis points and why she believes that the US, Europe, China is in a recession. So we're going to be talking about all this important information in this video coming up. As you can see over here, we have Tesla stock. As I'm recording the video, it's currently sitting at $784.45. We're down 9.38%. So we broke down below the $850 price point level that we're watching. So we are seeing a drastic drop of Tesla stock within 1 day. When you look at the ARK-K ETF, it's down 10.43%. Year to date is also down 57.16%. Later on, we're going to be hearing from Cathie Wood. But also, when you look at the overall stock market too, today we are selling aggressively to the downside on some tech stocks. We have Microsoft that's down 3%, Apple down 2%, Amazon down 4%, and we also have energy stocks pulling back aggressively to the downside, down 7.24%. ExxonMobil, CVX. We got Tesla also selling off a little bit aggressive compared to other stocks. So let's go over and look at exactly why Tesla is selling off aggressive compared to other tech stocks or other companies in the stock market. So we have this breaking headline that came out that Aptiv Shanghai plant suspends some shipments after COVID cases. So this is a company that ship parts to Tesla and General Motors, and unfortunately they suspended that because 2 of the workers has COVID-19 and they had to suspend it. And because Shanghai over there in China, they are very strict when it comes to COVID, and we know that the majority of the factories over there were on lockdown for several weeks, and right now they're trying to catch up and come back. But this is one of the big hiccups that happened over there that affected Tesla. As you can see, we have China export growth weakens to 2020 low as lockdowns bite. So there has been a lot of lockdowns happening that is affecting this big Chinese company, especially companies that have factories over in China. They've been affected. It's definitely having an impact on the export of China, and that's definitely having an impact on the economy. So that is one of the headlines that drastically affected, Tesla stock. And we also have, companies like Volkswagen. Last time we have General Motors coming out making statements like this. I don't think this has like a big effect because Volkswagen CEO sees tight race with Tesla for e-car crown by 2025. Yes, Volkswagen actually in second place. In Europe, they're trying to catch up when it comes to EVs over there. But in 2025, they're saying that they could potentially be ahead of Tesla or in the same place with Tesla in 2025. We also heard last time General Motors, Mara Barra said that she's expecting to be the leader in EVs production, etc. by mid-decade. So that is their plans, but we'll see how they're going to be doing. They're just making statements. They're making bold goals, bold predictions, but we'll see if that's going to come into fruition. But we have other positive news that we have Indonesian president plans to meet Elon Musk over nickel. So that is something important because this raw materials that are used to build batteries is really important when it comes to electric vehicle companies. There has been a lot of issues when it comes to supply chains, and now this president is planning to meet with Elon Musk for potential to talk about exactly how they're going to be benefiting Tesla by providing nickel. That is a great thing to watch out for. But now let's talk about exactly what's going on with Tesla stock, the overall stock market. As you can see, Tesla stock is flushing down to the downside. We broke below $850 that we're watching. The support that we're watching right now is around $760. This is a support that we're watching really closely. When you look at the overall stock market too, last week we talked about on Friday that the close that we experienced on Friday was relatively bearish in a way because we closed below the support level that we're watching, which is right around over here. And we actually broke down from the lows that we made when Russia-Ukraine war broke out and the stock market sold off aggressively. The lows that we made was around 409, and unfortunately S&P 500 went below that, and eventually it's going to be closing in a matter of few minutes, and we're going to be closing below 400 points too. So that is not looking pretty good for the overall stock market. So now let's talk about exactly what Cathie Wood had to say. Right, as you can see, her fund is aggressively selling off to the downside. She does updates on every month, basically, to come out, exactly talk about different things, the monetary policies, economic policies, innovation, etc. She talks about exactly what they're expecting and some of the moves that the Fed is doing. Also, she talks about that. But on the video, she commented about how the Fed raising interest rates by 50 basis points was actually wrong, and how she believes that since Europe is in recession, since China is in recession, and potentially the US is going to be in a recession, she mainly stated that that was the wrong move because overall this is not the right time to potentially raise interest rates, since there is a lot of pressure on the global economy and also within the US. So we're going to be watching a video of that, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to go over a look at what to expect for Tesla stock for tomorrow.
The valuations of our companies now, if you look at them from many different angles, are below those of the NASDAQ. And as I just mentioned, we do not believe that the NASDAQ, certainly not the NASDAQ 100, includes nearly enough disruptive innovation opportunities as our strategies do. Okay, now we'll go to monetary policy, fiscal policy, economics, market indicators, and a little bit more about innovation. Monetary policy. The Fed raised interest rates 50 basis points this week. And I had been saying that I thought that would be a mistake. The markets are corroborating that it seems that the Fed is making a mistake. So we've seen the stock market go through a spasm. The S&P now from its peak is down 15%. The NASDAQ from its peak is down 25%. Pure play innovation strategies like ours are down 60 to 75%. So that's not just a spasm, that's a convulsion. And you'd think that innovation companies that are not in benchmarks are witnessing the end of their world. It couldn't be further from the truth. This is a huge inefficiency in the market, this tendency to move towards benchmarks in risk-off environments. It's ridiculous that the genomic revolution and blockchain technology and crypto assets are all behaving exactly alike. In fact, crypto assets began to correlate highly with the NASDAQ starting at the beginning of COVID. Before that, there was no correlation at all. And so we think this is an anomaly, a massive anomaly, and that with time it will correct and the efficiencies will be introduced back into the market. So that's the stock market. So we do think that a recession is quite possible here in the United States. A recession is defined as 2 consecutive quarters of declines in GDP. We've had one, and I wouldn't be surprised to see another either in the second quarter or the third. So technically, we would, if we were positive in the second and went negative again in the third, that's not a technical recession. But in my book, it's close enough. Okay, now I know you've been bombarded by headlines about inflation, and we are not ignoring them. Did we expect supply chain issues, the magnitude of what we've seen, or zero COVID policy in China, or Russia's invasion of Ukraine? Absolutely not. Have we been wrong on how quickly inflation would dissipate? Absolutely. For those reasons, we believe. So let's just face the music. PPI inflation up 11.2% year over year. CPI up 8.5%. Personal consumption deflator up 5.2%. And the metric that the Fed pays the most attention to is core PCE deflator, core personal consumption expenditures deflator. So that's excluding food and energy, which they consider to be very volatile, more volatile than the underlying. Core inflation is 5.2%. Now, if you've listened to that, what you're probably thinking is, whoops, input prices are rising faster than output prices. The PPI is rising faster than the CPI. the PCE deflator. What does that mean? That means margin degradation, probably. So disappointing profits for companies that are not controlling their expenses, perhaps by using more automation and increasing productivity. Again, innovation solves problems. This is going to become a big problem. And we think that the adoption of innovative strategies to lower costs and sustain margins is going to become another mantra. Innovation solves problems.
As you can see over here, we have Tesla stock sitting at $787. We only have like 1 minute left before the market close. We're going to go over and look at exactly what to expect for Tesla for tomorrow. So we have some important economic data coming out this week. On Wednesday, we have inflation data coming out for the month of April. That's going to be really interesting because that is what the Fed sees in order for them to gauge on how they're going to be aggressive in the future when it comes to raising interest rates and etc. So the data is going to be really important to come out, and if we get any kind of surprise or a higher or lower numbers, that can definitely affect the overall stock market. And the stock market also closed as I'm recording this video. Tesla closed at $787. So the key price point levels to watch for tomorrow is going to be the support line that we're watching over here, which is $764. And the other important support level watching is going to be $700 and $750. So it's going to be the important price point levels that we're going to be watching. We have been selling aggressively to the downside for 3 days consecutively. Even when you look at the overall S&P 500 ETF, we have been selling off to the downside. There has been a lot of selling pressure. So we might expect maybe a bounce tomorrow ahead of Wednesday's announcement for inflation. So that could happen. But this is a great opportunity for anybody that wants to buy Tesla stock for the long term. You know, let's say if you want to buy 100 shares, you can start buying like 10 or 20 shares and see what happens. You know, if tomorrow we get a discount, you can buy more, and you can definitely average down if the stock goes down too. So that's going to be a great opportunity for anybody that wants to buy Tesla stock. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think about what ARK Invest Cathie Wood had to say? Do you think she's right? Do you think that the Fed made a mistake when it comes to raising interest rates by 50 basis points? And do you think that the US is in a recession right now? Seems like Europe is definitely in a recession. Also, China is definitely having a lot of issues, especially when it comes to being aggressive on the COVID lockdowns. They have seen some downside move when it comes to exports, and also the Russia-Ukraine. They used to export a lot of goods to Russia, and that has been a massive issue because of the war that affected the export numbers too. So there's a lot of things happening across the globe that is affecting not only the world economy, but also the US, and the stock market is definitely, we're seeing, you know, the effects of that in the stock market. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think about that? You know, what do you think, what's going to happen to Tesla stock tomorrow? If you have a prediction, let me know in the comments section below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on notification bell. And also, if you want free stocks, check out the links in the description box below. But I catch you guys on another video. Have a wonderful day.